My Crafty Mind for You presents Black Ice Technique. That's right, Black Ice Technique. That's what we're going to create today, this beautiful card using this special technique. Stay tuned and create with me. Hello everyone, and welcome back to My Crafty Mind for You. It's Lori here. Today I got to thinking about a project I had done, a technique on a card about a couple of years ago, and totally forgot about it, and just remembered this morning, and I thought, I ought to share this. I saw this technique by a lady here on YouTube. I believe her name is Tina Zink. Tina, Z-I-N-C-K, I believe is how you spell it. And she showed this technique they call black ice. Now, I've only done this once, and you're going to need a few things, not very many, and you probably even have these things already in your stash. You're going to need a heat tool. Depending which route you take, you will need Scotch tape. You may or may not need Scotch tape. You will need some kind of adhesive, either a dry adhesive or a wet adhesive. I'm going to be using the dry adhesive. You're going to need clear embossing powder. You're going to need Versamark, black archival ink, and you're going to need a card base. If you have one already, that's awesome. If you don't, you can make one. I happen to have one that's layered, and I just thought, well, I'm going to use this A2 card and find me a stamp that I'm going to like to put in there. You're going to either need, and this is preferred, the foiled cardstock, and this comes in, I believe, many colors, but I chose silver because silver is what I had. If you do not have this cardstock, it comes in a 12 by 12 sheet, you can always use good old kitchen foil and just back it on a piece of cardstock, scrap cardstock you have somewhere. And this is where the tape comes in handy, Scotch tape. Okay, so it comes out pretty much the same, and I'll show you on both so you can get the feel or the idea of both pieces, so you can see how this works. You're going to need some type of a stamping tool. I'm going to be using my Misty, my mini Misty. You're going to need, for your surface, if you want to keep your surface clean, and also to catch your embossing powder, you're going to need a piece of paper here. You're going to need a scrap piece of paper. So now that I've got all that taken care of, let's get started here. So the first thing I want to do is scoot this all out of the way. I'll go ahead and do the foil one first. I'm going to be taking my archival ink, and since I'm working on such a small area, I'm using a mini archival. I do have a larger one, but I prefer to use this one for this small piece. Reason being is because I need to hold on to the card, because if I don't hold on to the card, and I could have a chance of ruining it. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this little bitty archival ink, and I'm going to just see if I can zoom in for you here. I'm going to be taking just the very edge of it, and just with the weight of the little pad here, I'm going to drag it straight down. Well, maybe I'm going to have to put a little bit of pressure on this one. I might have to re-ink this. I thought I had re-inked it the other day. Okay, so that's what I want. I want my edges to look like that, and just very light streaks in the center. Okay, so I'm going to move my piece of paper over. I've got to hold on to this, and I don't really want to touch the foil with my fingers, because I got oils or whatever, lotion on our fingers, and yeah, that'd just be a hot mess. So I'm having to press a little bit because, like I said, my ink pad's a little bit dry. But if you have a nice juicy one, don't press too hard because you will have a hot mess. So now I'm going to go the opposite direction so that I can get this same look. Whoop. That's what I mean, why we got to hold it down. Okay. Because I'm going to be stamping this, I do want, you know, the center to be partially clear, not completely clear. I do want those streaks in there. Okay. So there's the one on the foil. Now let's do the one on the actual cardstock piece. Now I need to make sure that I am stamping this the way it's going to fit into my card. There we go. Scoot that over. And drag it across. And I guess you could actually go back, but you don't have that much control, so I better not. Better not chance it, huh? I think I want a little bit more on that part. Okay, so I'm just lightly dragging it across. And I went over a couple times because, again, my pad is not as wet as I would like it to be. And I thought I just inked this up last week. Must have used it quite a bit. So I've got to get a grip here, Lori. Whoop, not holding onto my card, the paper's sliding. There we go. Just press down on it, be the better way to do it. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to lift these so you can see the difference. I hope I'm in frame there. And again, once you tack this down, you glue it down, you're going to have a pretty good stiff piece. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom out for a little bit, just to make sure that I'm in frame. The stamp I chose is quite large for my piece, and I did that intentionally because I liked this rose. And it is a stamp set. It doesn't have a name. It's from, oh, what is the name of that? Oh goodness, it's online. I'll think of it here in a minute. Okay, just making sure that I have that where I need it to be. And what I want to do is I want to position my card where I'm getting just this portion. So I'm going to scoot that down. And I think that's about right where I want it. So we'll get my magnets out. So I'm going 2 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7. And I'm going to snap that down right there. Ooh, that's going to be in the way. Okay, I'll scooch over. Go a little bit higher with that. There we go. And my other magnet, go on this corner. Perfect. Okie dokie. So now I'm going to be inking up my flower. And ink this up. And give it a good press. Make sure I'm getting my card evenly. It's a good thing about the MISTI is I get to re-stamp it if I need to. And actually, I'm happy with that. Remove this carefully. This is what I have. Okay. Now I'm going to hit it with my heat tool just to make sure that it's dry before I put on the Versamark, because if I don't, it's going to streak and that is going to be a hot mess. Okay. So now that I have that one dry, we'll do the same with this foil one so we can see. So I was 2 up and 7 to my left. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it was actually 6. Pretty sure that's where it was. We shall see. Yes, ma'am. Alrighty, now I'm going to ink this up again using my little ink, archival ink pad. And give it a good press. Yeah, so if you live far from a craft store where they sell this type of paper and you really want to try this out, just use your foil that you have at home. You get a good image. I think it looks really nice. It looks organic, and that's nice. So here is one frame there, the foil piece. Okie dokie, so I'm going to put this away. I'll clean this up later. Set it aside. Now I'm going to also zap my foil piece. Make sure it's nice and dry. Take the opposite side of my inked on sheet of paper because I do not want my clear embossing powder to get colored. Okay, so my pad has been very well used, as you can see. So this should be white clear actually, and this is clear Versamark. You're going to take the very tip and just let the weight of the Versamark slide down just the very edge. You're just going to drag it across. I'm going to have to flip that one. And again. Okay. Now what we're going to do, hopefully that's wet. It feels pretty sticky, so should be. We'll soon see. We're going to put embossing powder, clear embossing powder, all over. Trying not to touch. And it was, and it was wet, as you can see. So I'm going to set that one aside. Going to scoop up my excess, put it back in my container, and managed to get some on here. That's not good. Let me just clean off my hands here really quick. Okay, I'm going to take my cardstock, foiled cardstock, and do the same thing again. Drag it straight down. See, I'm just with the very edge at an angle. Just drag it down. You can see it's picking up some of the ink. Flip it around and do the same thing. Okay. And same thing for this one. Put embossing powder all over the top. Nice and covered. Okay. Get my excess back into my container. Cover it up so we don't have a mess. And now I'm going to hit this with my heat tool. And this is where the magic happens. You know what? Let me zoom in. Alrighty, so we're all nice and zoomed in here now. Now let's get this going. Start seeing that come through. That looking pretty? And it literally looks like a wet, iced piece of card. It is the most gorgeous thing in real life. And I'm hoping that you can see that. It is so pretty. I'm going to bring it into the camera so you can see the shine. See how it looks like kind of wet? I love this technique. It is so awesome. I love the streaks, the black streaks that go up and down. Sorry about the glare. Whoops. And that's going to be going attached right onto that card like that. Now we're going to do the foil piece. Get back to my area. Be interesting to see how fast the foil one heats up versus the cardstock. It looks like it's heating up fairly fast. Could be because my tool was running, so it was already nice and hot. I don't know. But this is also very pretty. Very, very pretty. It's gorgeous. Both of them. Okay. And I will do the same with this piece here. Bring it up. I might not have finished right there. Let me see. Maybe a little bit more right there. Yeah, I think so. I missed a bit of it. Better double check this other one. A little spot right there. There we go. All right. Now they're both done. So I can get this out of the glare. There we go. So again, you can see it at an angle. It just looks nice and wet. Of course, foil shiny, but you can see those little bubble marks kind of. Looks beautiful in reality. Now your cardstock will buckle on you because I did have the heat gun on this one. I'm sorry about that glare. It's horrible. I did have the heat tool on this one quite a long time because it had to warm up. Don't worry about that. That can always be fixed, and the way you fix that is you just flip the card around and put a little bit of heat on it. And it should go the opposite direction if I remember correctly. And if not, when you put it down with tape, it's going to straighten itself out anyhow. But usually it would have bent back in. So this is the technique. I will show you what it looks like on the card once it's placed on there. This is very pretty. Actually, I don't know which one I like best. This one really looks organic, and I love the way that it looks. But I think I stamped it on the wrong side anyway, the wrong direction. Yeah, sure did. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one. So we're going to go ahead and let me clean my surface here. Got a bit of embossing powder that spilled over. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this double-sided tape. I'll just tear it. Okay. Cut my nails the other day and they're barely growing back. So I'm having a hard time picking this tape up. There we go. Make sure I'm going the right direction. Wouldn't that be something? Okay. And there we have it. Now, what I'm going to do down here is haven't really decided yet. What I wanted to do initially was stamp it with a sentiment. Then I got to thinking, well, if I leave it blank for now, that would be good because I can always stamp it later and it could be for really anything. Or I could go ahead and put me a layer of white cardstock there and then run me a black ribbon bow and still use it for just about anything. So let me do that. Let me cut this piece of cardstock, this white cardstock here. And get me some ribbon. And I'm just going to eyeball this. Okay. Let me grab my black ribbon. Okey-dokey. Black ribbon here. I'm not going to iron this right now, so I'm not going to mess with that. I'm going to just clip that off. Let's make sure this is going to fit first of all, and it is. Okay. I'm going to take my little black archival ink and I'm going to just lightly ink up my edges so that it's in uniform with the card, because that's what I did with the other white piece that's layered there. Okay. Now I can do this one of two ways. I can either and you can too. Either tape a piece to the back and then slip a knot bow through it, or I can go ahead and run it through and tie my bow. Because this is so small, this piece, I think I'm going to run it through the back, tape it down, and knot my piece around it. For this part, I'm going to use the red line tape. This is a more heavy duty tape because I have the ribbon on there, and not only the ribbon, but I also have the Scotch tape there. I want to make sure that this sticks and it doesn't come off on whoever I decide to give this to. Because that would really be horrible. I would not want that to happen. I've got to stand up for this part. Okay, and there we have it. And a white piece of paper behind it so you can see our finished product. Well, I hope you enjoyed this technique. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up, share the video, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And thank you once again for watching my videos. Enjoy and have a fabulous and fun time making this and creating it. And if you do, I'd love to see the results. Please tag me in your results at the comments box below. You can go ahead and post your picture there. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Have a good one.